Day 123 here. Running a little bit behind. I got up a little bit later because it rained significantly last night. Woke up about 12:30 with just a few sprinkles in that. And I didn't really have I wasn't even thinking about rain. You know, we had clear skies last night and I didn't really check the weather like I should have in Shelter Cove. So I wasn't really thinking about rain or prepared for rain. I certainly didn't pitch my tent for rain. So I got up and closed up the vestibule, but this tarp tent, you know, it's an old, you know, one of the first ultralight tents. If you remember my Gossamer Gear, the one tent, I had to send home because the zipper broke about halfway through. So, you know, and it was going to take a long time to get it repaired. So I just had Sandra send out our tarp tent that, you know, it's a 2-person tent, but it's still relatively light. And I had her send it out. So it's not really set up good for rain. I mean, it kept me dry, but, you know, there was some rain leaking in on the side. I didn't have it set up. You gotta, you know, there's not good headroom to begin with. And if you want to set it up properly for rain, you gotta pitch it really low. And I did not do that. And there you have to like get out and repitch it. So I wasn't going to do that in the middle of the night. So I closed up the vestibule, but the vestibule is pretty wimpy. But it managed to keep all my stuff dry. A little bit leaked in on the side, so I got a little damp, but not significantly. So that was a little bit of excitement last night. I'm going to have to work on my technique a little bit as we get deeper into Oregon, and definitely for Washington, because I think this is the first of probably many rainy days. Luckily, the rain stopped. It stopped probably about 5 o'clock. So I don't have to hike in the rain, at least not yet. But looking at the skies, it's still pretty cloudy, so maybe we will see some rain. But it's not raining right now. That'd really suck if I had to, you know, close up camp while it's raining. Not looking forward to when I have to do that. But luckily today I don't have to. Everything's wet. I mean, the tent's all wet and my ground sheet's wet. But I don't, you know, have to pack everything up while it's raining. And another good thing is it didn't get very cold last night. Only got down to, I think, 47. So that's not bad compared to 34 last night. That'd be another thing if it was cold and rainy. You know, that's a little bit less than fun. All right, so I'm gonna eat and hit the trail. Plan today is hopefully do close to 24, 25 miles, something like that. So hopefully today goes a little bit better than yesterday. We'll see how it goes. We'll see down the trail. You can see here's the tent, and this is a very wimpy vestibule. If you want it to be effective, you can see the dry spot underneath, so it's not very big. I kind of rolled up and pulled in my gear tight to the tent, but you need to pitch. You need to lower the trekking pole and pitch. Use this guy out instead of this one, if you want it to stay drier and be more taut. And you can see along the side there's some screen exposed, so some water got in along the side. So we'll have to work on that. I don't even have guidelines for the side. Maybe I should get some as we go into Washington, and I need 2 more stakes. So a couple things to look at. Maybe this was a good wet run, I guess we'll call it, instead of a dry run, as a precursor to Washington. Something to think about. I back up my tent, I can see got a little bit more water, and you can see, you know, water came in during the side there and got down there, and there's a little puddle over there, so you can see the dry area. The ground cloth wasn't wet at all. The tent was protecting it, but the tent was soaked. But you can see the vestibule area from like here to here. That's not very big. It's 6:40 and we're heading north on the trail. So yeah, as I said, this tent is going to need some work for the rain. I know the Gossamer Gear one would have been much better, but it's got a busted zipper, so can't keep the mosquitoes out. I got mosquitoes just about every night. This is the first time it rained in probably 2 months. Really, this is probably the most significant rain we've had on the whole trail, because it's, other than this, it's only rained like 20 minutes. while I've been on the trail, where it rained, I don't know, 4 or 5 hours last night. So it actually worked out all right because it taught me a couple things and got some things to work on. Too much water got in, and it wasn't a downpour. It was, I mean, first couple hours it was just a drizzle, and then it rained. You know, I'd say it's a light to medium rain for a couple hours, but I'm guessing in Washington we're gonna have downpours, and maybe, you know, I've heard you can have a couple of days of downpours. So I'm hoping the sun comes out this afternoon, because it's not really fun packing up a wet tent, but it's soaked right now, so I need to get it out in some sun and let it dry out. Hopefully at lunch we'll see if the sun cooperates or not. Okay, we'll see you down the trail. Okay, I've literally had clear blue skies for like 122 days straight. I mean, no rain at all. I mean, 20 minutes, but not today. Look at that. I'm not sure what volcano that is. I'll have to check out the maps, but there's still quite a bit of snow up there. But right now it's all obscured by the cloud cover. It's kind of nice. It's nice and cool. Hopefully I get a little bit of sun to dry out the tent, but look at that. Big change of scenery. All right, we'll see you down the trail. I'm in the Three Sisters Wilderness, so I figured that volcano's one of the sisters. Maybe it is. But on the map it says LeConte Crater. So maybe LeConte Crater is one of the sisters. Don't know, but she's beautiful nonetheless. Just the way the clouds are hugging it. You got the hill right in front of it. Man, it's just gorgeous. A diverse landscape here. This is the forest I've been used to walking through in Oregon, whether it's live like that or burnt. That's kind of going along the outskirts of this big, long, open field. There's been like, I don't know, 2 miles of this right here. Forest on one side, then right now it's just this big ridge of lava rock, and above that, up in the clouds, is LeConte Crater. But you got the crater, that's lava rock, followed by the field. Not really a field, I don't know, it's just dirt and gravel with some small vegetation, wide open, and then forest flanking on the side. So real interesting, a little different landscape. So it's nice to get a little diversity here. Okay, so this is one of the few streams I've seen in Oregon. Most of them, this is a little footbridge. Just about all the water sources have been ponds and lakes. So water's been scarce. Not like desert scarce, but close to it. Nothing like the Sierras or Northern California. But here, in this little section, we got a few streams. Very nice. After a nice little forest stretch, got another burn zone. The biggest change is it's chilly. I'm guessing that's still in the 40s. Even though I've been hiking uphill for a while, I'm in the middle of like a 11 or 1200 foot climb. I'm still a little chilly. I'm almost thinking about pulling out my fleece and wearing that. And you look at the sky, it's real cloudy. I'm just, I don't mind the clouds. It's kind of refreshing. I'm just hoping you don't get more rain. Rain at night when you're in your tent, that was not a big deal. That's kind of perfect. But having to hike in the rain, that's a whole nother animal. I'm sure I'll have to do it at some point. I'm not looking forward to it. So we'll see how it goes. Keep the fingers crossed it just stays cloudy if it's cool like this, that's not a problem. If I can't generate enough heat hiking, I'll just throw in the fleece. But if it's cool and wet, yeah, that gets harder. I do have a rain poncho, but if it rains all day, that's not the best. Oh, the other thing is my feet. I think what's contributing is my feet are all wet, because you brush up against grass and bushes and that, your feet get wet. Kind of like in the Sierras. They were wet all through the Sierras, but in the Sierras, it was cold at night, cold in the morning, but most of the time it heated up during the day. So even though your feet were wet, it wasn't a big deal because those temperatures were nice. Pacific Northwest, a little bit different beast. So see how it goes, see how I adapt. It's covered in fog, but I believe, according to the map, that's South Sister. So I gotta look at the map closer. There's South Sister, North Sister. But this is called the Three Sisters Wilderness, and there's not like a middle one. So I don't know if it's at LeCant volcano, LeCant crater, or is another Mount Brecken something. There's another mountain around there. So anyway, this is South Sister. We'll see if we get a better shot if the fog lifts or the clouds lift a little bit. And I'll have to get a map somewhere of the Three Sisters Wilderness to see what the actual Three Sisters are. But this is one of them. We'll see you down the trail. It'd be a really cool shot of South Sister, but it's almost completely covered in clouds. Nice little meadow by trees, and then South Sister. Okay, here's a better view of South Sister. The clouds have lifted just a little bit, it's still a real cloudy day, but at least you can see South Sister and the snow up there. August 15th, Three Sisters Wilderness. See you on down the trail. Okay, here's Obsidian Falls in Three Sisters Wilderness. Nice little waterfall, probably, 30 feet high. It just comes trickling all the way down. Beautiful little spot. I was talking to a mother and daughter from Eugene a ways back. And they're describing, there are three sisters. So there's North Sister, Middle Sister, and South Sister. So I caught a glimpse of South Sister through the clouds, but Middle and North so far been totally obscured. So didn't get to see those. I guess there's also a husband on the other side. But this is just a beautiful area here. Gorgeous trail, very well maintained. I'll have to come back here. This might give me an excuse, since I didn't get to see all Three Sisters. Give me an excuse to come back here. Maybe next year when Sandra and I take a road trip. This might have to be a little detour, a little backpacking excursion. So far, Three Sisters Wilderness is very, very beautiful, even if it is obscured by clouds. Okay, I'll see you down the trail. See this, but yeah, this is the Obsidian limited hiking area, and everywhere you look, there's this obsidian glass. Volcanic glass, so you can see where make perfect rocks for spears or arrowheads. But everywhere you look, there's shards of it. Very cool. Okay, so this is Sister Spring, just coming out here and right here, but it's coming out a good flow, and right here it's creating this whole creek, and that's what flows over the waterfall. So this whole Sister Spring here is producing just a ton of water. Looks like it's all coming out. Yeah, this whole shale cliff up here. It doesn't look like much right there at the source right here, but just a few feet away, you know, you got a whole flowing creek. Pretty impressive. It's pretty beautiful. And it's just nice, cold, clear, crisp, clean water. Doesn't get any better than this. Whole obsidian field here. There's some bigger chunks right here. That's, you know, foot wide. There's a few big chunks right there. And then there's this real large deposits right along here. Pure black obsidian. It's a little hard to tell, but I think that might be North Sister behind those clouds there with the glaciers on it. The mother and daughter were describing it to me as a jagged peak, but it's hard to tell because you can't see the peak through the clouds. So, but according to the map, it's up there. There's also Little Brother off to the left, so I guess that could be Little Brother, but I think that's the base of North Sister. So saw South Sister. I might have seen part of North Sister here. We'll see. I'll keep looking back as the clouds move around. Right there. Okay, last a mile and a half is over some pretty rough lava. Uphill, steep. Took a toll, but I can see forest down here. So you can see the trail winds its way down. I think right in there, you should get back into some forest. That'd be nice to take a break because this last part was tough. I'm gonna make my miles today, but this last mile and a half, it's relatively flat. It's just across this nasty lava flow. So it's just hard to get your footing. Everything's jagged and irregular. So I think I got maybe a mile left going through this. And we'll be able to set up camp. I'll be a happy camper when I get there. All right, see you later. Okay, over there is the D. Wright Observatory, made out of lava stone. I got about a half mile to cross the highway, and then I could walk down there and check out the observatory. It's only like, I don't know, a third of a mile each way. If it weren't so late, I'd check it out, but crossing this lava field takes a lot out of me, and I'm gonna have a hard time making camp by 6 as it is, and I need to get some rest for tomorrow. So this is probably the closest I'll get, but it's kind of cool. It's kind of like that something similar off I-8 down in going out of California towards Arizona. It's made out of rock, not lava, but kind of the same principle. A little after 6, after 1.5 grueling miles of walking some really tough lava rock, finally made camp. I did things out of order here now. Normally I have a protein drink, then set up my tent and you know, set everything up, and then cook dinner. But first thing I did was set up my tent to let it dry a little bit. I don't know if you can see it, it was just soaked. So it's been set up for, I don't know, 20 minutes or so. You can still see it's still a little bit wet, but it's drying out at least. There's a little bit of a breeze. I haven't even looked inside yet. It doesn't look, it's a little damp still. So I'm hoping I haven't put anything in it yet. Hoping by the time I eat dinner and that, it'll kind of dry out. Never really got a chance to let dry out during the day. Both I had 2 lunches and both of them were all cloud cover in that, and I wasn't stopping that long, but it was cloud cover and cold. I wore my fleece most of the day today. It was I'm guessing it was in the 50s, probably lower 50s most of the day, and with a breeze blowing, even hiking, I was a little bit chilly, so I wore my fleece. But I did 25.2 miles, so I thought I set myself up good. I think it's about 11 and a half or 12 miles to Big Lake Youth Camp. But I just started looking at the map, and unfortunately I got another 5 miles of this lava rock. And you just can't go fast on a lava rock, even with fresh legs and, you know, first thing in the morning. It's just hard on your feet. You're waiting to twist an ankle. It's tough. I'll have to get an early start to be able to make it there by lunch. But other than that, it was a great day. You know, it was a little cloudy. Didn't really see much of the Three Sisters. It was a nice trail, and except for, you know, this last mile and a half, and there was about a mile and a half or 2 miles past Obsidian Falls. That was a really tough uphill and on lava rock. So except for those 2 stretches, I mean, the trail is maintained nice. All the blowdowns were cut, except for those lava sections. It was nice dirt. So it was a good day overall. Yeah, the lava rock really takes it out of you. I don't know which is worse, the really bad blowdowns or the really bad lava rock. I'll have to give that some thought. Hey, I gotta hurry up and eat and finish setting up camp before it starts to cool down. Look up at the sky. I see a little bit of blue, so hopefully it won't rain again tonight. And I'm just glad I avoided the rain all day today. Right now, everything's on track and life is good. So we'll check in with you tomorrow.